Most manufacturers, whether you buy something for $200 or $900, you get this pen, and there's nothing particularly special about this pen. It is low cost, so if you lose it, I guess it's not the end of the world. But honestly, Supernote has some of the nicest pens on the market. The stock pen you get is made completely out of metal. The lapel clip is plastic, but you can open it up and it looks like an actual pen. That's because it is a pen. It was designed for being a pen first and a stylus second. And you see, if you do need to replace your nibs, which you don't really need to that often because they are very strong, you can actually replace the nib. And it is an entire canister, and you can see that it says Japan WACOM on it right there. It's really tiny, but this is really nice because not only do they allow you to replace the pens on the stock line, and the stock line is actually very nice in and of itself. They have the Heart of Metal series where they have 10 plus colors. This thing is made entirely out of metal. It's very nice looking. It features the same kind of nib on the inside, and now actually they have upgraded to ceramic nibs where they say you'll never actually have to replace the tips. And that's all very nice because we all know that with a lot of manufacturers, especially like Sony, Fujitsu, etc., you have to replace the nibs quite frequently. They have also paired up with Lamy, which is a German company that makes styluses and styli, I guess you could say. This has some of the best cross-compatibility throughout any pen that is EMR, which is electromagnetic resonance, which basically means, well, WACOM stylus. You'll see that it looks like this. The canister is a little bit different. This one is not a Supernote product, but it is bundled with some Supernote devices. Supernote also puts a lot of time and effort into not only making a device software work properly, but the hardware is actually really nice too. This doesn't look like anything else on the market. It's very squared off. It has this sidebar, whereas if you swipe down, it opens up your menu, or if you want to trigger refresh, you actually swipe up. That's really cool. It's a gesture support on the hardware, not the software. You have USB-C, and they've also done something very interesting, and they have made a little guide rail right here. It's a patented guide rail where you can actually slide a case onto this, and it will basically never come off unless you slide it off. It's not going to fall off. It'll protect your device if dropped, and you have a little tension clip in there too. So a lot of the design and the R&D is actually quite nice when it comes to Supernote devices. They don't look cookie cutter. Now, to start you guys off, the Supernote A6 and the A5 did not have a home screen. Its home screen was basically a list of your documents, or to a lesser extent, the sidebar pulled up. The A6X still does not have a home screen. Now, that's not a bad thing because it's very unique to Supernote and a couple other manufacturers, but they choose to keep it this way because it's very simplistic. Now, a lot of people are saying this A6X is running Android, and it is kind of. It's running Chauvet, which basically means it's based off of Android, but you can't do anything Android with it. So if you're thinking you can install applications, sideload in your APK files, you cannot. None of that works on this device. It's not that kind of operating system. You have a few things you can do here. You can swipe down the top, you get Wi-Fi, you get cloud, you get screenshot, search, and the settings wheel. Going into the settings wheel, you get your regular settings here. My account, synchronized Wi-Fi, etc. You get a lot of things here. You can factory reset your device. You can go to system, you can choose auto update, make sure you have the latest updates, and whatnot. With PDF files, you can start writing immediately. You get some stuff at the top like disable touchscreen, you get eraser, back, and some pen settings. If you tap this, you get everything on the side. We'll save that for the note-taking experience because that is what is most important for that. Clicking on the top here, you get contents, trimming, add bookmark, screenshot, contrast, and quick access. Contrast is very nice because you can actually change the whole contrast system-wide. So basically you can make it super dark or super light if you're having trouble seeing it, and this really shows a lot of the detail. Now, you can't do simple things like pinching and zooming or long press on any text. That actually doesn't do anything, but overall the note-taking experience on PDFs and note editing is quite nice. Now, even though this is an EPUB file, it doesn't perform like your conventional ebook. And why that is because you can't long press, you can't pinch and zoom, and you get all the same kind of things on the side and the top as you do in the note-taking and the PDF portion. However, there is some cool things you can do. You can actually make these brackets around anything you want, and it actually can save these as your annotations. So instead of like before, where you have to long press and highlight, you can actually do that via these little clip art inputs like that. And that's really cool, and that's super unique. No other device does that. After you make all your highlights, you can actually swipe down here, go over to Digest, and this will actually be a complete list of all those brackets and parentheses and annotations you've made here. From here you can long press and you can go ahead to choose if you want to select all. If you want to delete all, you can confirm and basically edit and delete anything you want. You do have some ways to change your font and text experience, but everything you do doesn't change live. You will have to go back to it every single time and go that route. So it does take a little bit longer to do that. You also have highlighter with some different colors. So if you wanted to do some light highlighting over some stuff as well, you could do that. You can box stuff. You can basically just circle and color everything in. It's basically the note-taking, the settings that you get in the note-taking world on an EPUB book. They have a couple things here. They have the mechanical pencil, the pen/paintbrush, that's the one with the pressure sensitivity, and the highlighter. The highlighter is really nice because it makes these really thick lines. You can even color it in, and you can even use the highlighter over other things you've written and actually not have it affect what you have beneath it. So you can see we have layers here, and we can toggle them. We have our main layer 1 and 2. We can delete them. We can add new ones. We can even go up and down in terms of priority. And if we use the eraser, for example, if it looks like I'm erasing everything, it's only going to affect the layer I'm working on. If you make a mistake, you can press the back button, and you can add up to 3 layers with the main layer for a total of 4. Colors are also very nice. They have black, gray, light gray, and white. It's basically just an eraser when you choose white, but it is there if you need it. If you've just drawn your technical masterpiece like my award-winning house, you can actually go to the selector, select what you want to highlight, and then you can rotate it, you can stretch it, and you can actually stamp it as well. So you can cut it, you can paste it, and you can do text conversion. Now, you can't do it on this because there's no text, but if you went over to something like something written in text, you can click that and it will identify the keywords and turn everything into text. From here you can add more things using the keyboard. It's not a conventional QWERTY keyboard because there is some stacking going on, whereas conventional QWERTY keyboards are offset, but it's very nice because you can actually highlight it as well. Now, there's not much you can do at this point. It's basically just there, so you can confirm, but it would be nice to really have a better experience with that, maybe some more share options. And currently, if you write something like Peter, for example, like this, and then you try to highlight it, unfortunately it can't catch the spaces at this point in time, so it is just going to have everything in a straight line. So that is a little bit of a downfall. Supernote has pretty much perfected the note-taking experience. They have a combination of high tensile nibs, if not ceramic nibs in their most recent line, and a rubber screen protector that covers the entire length and width of the device. There is a factory rubber screen protector on this, and what that does is it allows you to get all of the writing feel, that resistance, that grit, that nice glide over the screen that is not too sticky or too smooth. It's very much a note-taking paper kind of feel. They give you that and none of the wear and tear of the nibs like other manufacturers, so it's an award-winning combination that no one else has mimicked or emulated thus far. Also, on the paintbrush/pen, you can make incredibly thin hairlines, or you can make these thick bleeds, and when you're drawing something really tiny, it's just incredible the amount of detail you get without having to zoom in, because there is no zoom on this device. So that's a little bit of a downfall too, but the detail is extraordinary. The A6X is a step in the right direction. The functionality is a little bit limited. The fact that it's running quote-unquote Android is a little bit of a tease, but the materials used to make this device, the pen lineup, the overall fit and finish, the note-taking prowess, it's just there's so much good about the A6X. It's also not going to break the bank. It's around the $380 to $400 mark, depending on the market you're purchasing in. This is not an open Android experience. You cannot download apps. It doesn't have a glow light, so there are a few shortcomings, but overall, it's a great package and it's a great buy. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, let us know. For GrittyReader.com, this is Peter.